The Boys finale is honestly looking kind of rough, to be honest. You're getting a lot of action, you're seeing a lot of stuff happening on the screen. But is there gonna be consistency? Is there gonna be actual satisfying events occurring in this finale? Think about it. They have one last episode to wrap up this entire season, this entire show. That's it. There's not gonna be any more The Boys unless there's spin-offs afterwards. Okay, but this is it. I'm gonna cover everything that happens in this teaser, what I think is going to happen, what I think is going to end with the finale of this entire show. Okay, first of all, we get the Deep, and he's looking very sad when he sees Homelander. Why? Because he knows he has to slime Homelander. He's been holding back the the Deep has been holding back his entire power all this time. And now that he has been outcast, he has to finish off Homelander. He has to reveal his true power. No, but seriously, how is he still alive? This guy is still alive this entire show. So many better, superior, more OP characters have met their demise, and then there's just this guy. Why? What point is the show trying to make with this? Okay, so he's looking sad because he knows he has to finish off Homelander. This is it. This is their final show off. Forget about Butcher, the Boys. The Deep is going to be the final nail in the coffin for Homelander. Then next we see Butcher, and he's holding a crowbar. I hope that they don't go where I think they're going with this, because this is a nod to the comics, basically. There's a crowbar, and that's how it ends. I hope that they do not, and I'm not saying this is what happens in the comics, okay, but I hope that they don't just remove Homelander's powers and crowbar him to the head. That's very predictable. It's very easy to see that can happen, and it's just a very lazy way of going about it. I would actually be surprised. Would you be surprised if Homelander wins? Nah, because he's a political criticism. He cannot live. No way. That's never gonna happen. The show has kind of lost its grit and its bravery at this point, so Homelander has to die. We know that he has to die. But it would be interesting if something else happens, though. If finally you see him cause some destruction, the way he promised back in season 3, if he actually does something menacing other than sit in the presidential office, but you get this, right? You have Butcher holding a crowbar, and it's probably going to affect Homelander in some way. That's my prediction. Okay, he's probably going to get debuffed, humiliated in the end, to be honest. The next thing that we see is the Deep getting body slammed by Starlight. She jumps up from a wall and just body slams the dude. Some people have speculated that she's trying to save him from Homelander, which is why would she do that? They've hated each other from the first episode, as far as I recall. She's never gonna do that. This is her basically getting back at him from what he did to her back in the first season. There's gonna be a nod to that, and there will be no more the Deep. He survived. Depending on what you think, if it's sad or happy that he survived this long, he's still here, and this is probably how it ends for him. I don't think that Starlight is saving him in this scene. No, that's not realistic. Which leads into the next scene of the trailer, which is a beach, and then you see a superhero fly down and slam into the beach. I think this is still the Deep, and I think he's going to get a demise on the beach, which is going to be very symbolic. He's been cast out from all the fish, the Homelander Vought. He's just nothing, and he's just completely destroyed on a beach. Very poetic, right? That's how it's going to end for him. This amazing, great character. Okay, but real talk though, they have so little time to fix this entire show. It's just one episode, and it wasn't as apocalyptic, as menacing as it was supposed to so far. And what's with all the cussing? All the cussing, every sentence is basically just the character swearing. It's very gritty, it's very edgy. Just stop doing that at this point. You had Homelander promising to cause some mayhem, some apocalypse. It used to be I'm gonna blow up New York. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And in the end, he didn't do anything. He just caused a bunch of camps. He became president. and that was it. You know, he decided to become a president. He became obsessed with God, and I wish that the show didn't go that route. I wish they didn't go to this political route of like criticizing Trump or whatever. It should have just been a super villain story. That would have been much more interesting. And keep some of the political commentary, okay? The political criticism can stay, but this is like too much reality to the point where it's not gonna age well in time. You're not gonna be able to go back and rewatch The Boys because it's just gonna be relatable in terms of the year 2026. It's not gonna age very well. And that's the problem with it, right? You don't want to base your fiction too much on reality and political candidates and whatever's happening with the world, okay? I wish they didn't do that, but it is what it is, okay? Homelander is probably gonna die. Butcher's probably gonna die too. That's just the vibe that you get from this. You get the vibe that the heroes, if you can call them that, even though they're not really heroes, they're not gonna survive. And it's gonna be the hero, the protagonist taking out the villain sort of thing, where both of them perish in the end. That's just my prediction. I think both of them are not going to survive the battle. There's probably going to be a face-off with Butcher versus Homelander, and he's going to crowbar him. He's going to debuff him in some sort of way, which is, you know, it's pathetic. It's very predictable, so hopefully they don't go that route. The creator has said that it's going to be a very open ending. That's another red flag. That's a red flag to worry about if I've seen one, because why would you have an open ending for this? This is not some high art show. This is action, superhero stuff, and critique of society or political things. There's no business really having this be an open ending. It's not a metaphorical, symbolic type of show. It's a very in-your-face type of show. We haven't seen any types of dream sequences or anything like that to indicate that an open ending would be warranted. So usually when a creator says like that, he's kind of preparing you for backlash. He's kind of preparing himself for backlash. That's what he's doing. Oh, it's gonna be an open ending, guys. It's gonna be an open ending. Don't expect too much. Don't expect any type of good closure. Is that what he means? Could be. That's kind of how I felt about it. At the same time, you know, it could be a good show. It could be a good ending to the show. It could be a good finale, definitely. But I hope it's not too much of an open ending. Now, what did he mean by open ending? Does it mean that Homelander is going to die and then there's going to be new heroes or a spin-off? Probably that's what he meant. I don't think that Homelander is going to survive, but at the same time, I really hope it's not just an open ending. What happens to Homelander? What happens to Vought? No. In the teaser, Butcher says there are not going to be any more superheroes. That's the end of superheroes. And it's going to be a new world afterwards. It should be something like that. They need to close off this story properly. And there needs to be some mayhem, which is something that I did not see in this teaser. Since season 3, season 4, season 5, it should have been non-stop destruction. Can you imagine the world with a figure like Homelander? The type of damage that he would do. You have this massive narcissist in possession of all these superpowers. He's got laser eyes. He's basically Superman. He would not forgive Europe, the United States, Australia. That would all be gone. Now, is it because of the budget saving up on CGI? I don't think so, because the show uses a ton of CGI and special effects and stuff like that. I just don't see why there hasn't been more destruction and why they're so lingering. It's constantly lingering. This entire season has been lingering. It should have been a lot more suspenseful, a lot more consequences. And it hasn't been that way. It's kind of been meandering around. And I don't think that they can fix that in the final season, especially when the creator says, oh, it's going to be an open ending, guys. It's going to be so meaningful, so profound. So that's the way I view it, okay? At the same time, it's exciting. You saw a lot of stuff happening in the teaser, but not enough. You basically just saw the Deep getting body slammed once onto a beach. That's not... And then the Crowbar. Is it still us looking at how is Homelander gonna die? That's not very entertaining. I hope that there's a lot more behind the finale than this teaser, because otherwise people are gonna be very disappointed. So that's my prediction. Homelander probably gonna die, Butcher's gonna die, the Deep as well. It's very interesting to see. Starlight, I'd be very surprised if something happens to her. She's probably gonna be the surviving squad. But let me know what you think in the comments, guys. This finale, yeah, still excited to see it, but kind of skeptical at this point.